1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
What's going on, people? What's going on? Welcome in. It is Wake Up 502 After Dark. Your boy Raashaan Myers here. 96.1 FM, 1450 AM, Big X Sports Radio. Joined as always by the dashing and debonair Haven Harrington, looking all spiffy on this Thursday evening. Haven, how are you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing great, man. I'm ready to talk about some of this great Cardinal football. Talk about that horrible, horrible loss to
If we
Cal.
have
You were
to.
literally in the driving seat for the playoffs.
Yeah.
And just like last year, we lost to last year we lost to a really bad team. This year we lost to an okay team.
Yeah.
And just like last year, it costs us a chance to possibly go to the playoffs. This year, it costs us most likely. I mean, we're still mathematically in it, but it most likely costs us a chance at an ACC title berth and the college football playoff.
Yeah, definitely. I mean that's what we got to get into, man. Yeah, I mean Louisville at this point, the Jeff Bombardiers are in a bit of a pickle. It kind of this season has more from what Louisville was looking at in season one, where they were able to control their own destiny and ultimately secured that bid to the ACC title game with that win over Miami in year one under Jeff Brom. Now with this loss to Cal. Louisville's kind of in the position that they were in last year, needing to continue to win and find a little bit of help if they're going to make it in there. So while they have not been eliminated from the ACC title race, they
Well, not
definitely
they
now.
haven't mathematically been
Well,
eliminated
I
yet,
mean,
but
but even saying mathematically, all those teams play each other. So honestly, you need five teams. There's five teams that are ahead of Louisville. That can screw up the tiebreaker as it stands, or that need to lose for you to be able to take advantage of the tiebreaker. But the good thing is four of the teams are playing each other, so that'll eliminate three of those squads. And then Louisville's going to play one of the other squads, which is the SMU. So if Louisville takes care of business, then they basically need one of two teams to lose a game in the last 3 weeks. So I mean, it's not ridiculous. Like the formula is not ridiculous, but because
you
you
didn't help
lost to
yourself.
Cal, well, yeah, I mean that's the whole point. Is now you don't control your own destiny. Now you are scoreboard watching, and you have to continue to win. And that's the biggest thing that we have to talk about is how is Louisville going to get these two wins, because their last two ACC wins, Haven Harrington, may be their two most difficult of the season. So we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about all that. But of course, before we look forward to the Clemson Tiger, Haven Harrington, we got to look back. We got to look back at Cal.
Like, do we have to?
Unfortunately,
I mean,
uh, the
I mean,
autopsy of that game.
let's just be honest. Like, we all knew Louisville had a loss in them. I mean, you could tell by the way they were playing. They played too much on the edge, too loosey goosey, with turnovers, bad penalties. The offense, even though they're still averaging more than 24 points a game, still have the longest streak in college football, but they just move in fits and spurts, and they look like world beaters one drive, even one quarter sometimes, and then they just
Yeah.
kind of disappear. And it's been like that all season. In every
Yes.
game, they've looked the same way all season. Like, you knew there was a loss in there, but you didn't know where. And against Virginia, we gave the game away with two turnovers. The Virginia House took for 14 points, took us to overtime. We couldn't get it done. Against
Yeah, definitely.
Cal, the defense probably had the worst game of the year. We needed some more production from the offense to get the win. We had the ball late in order to drive, but we just have the trigger man to do it, and it's just that simple. Like, I mean, I tweeted from the game, in the fourth quarter, does anybody trust Muller Moss to go out there and win the game. Like we saw like what Mendoza for IU did, right?
Yeah.
Against Penn State. They needed the win. They needed some clutch throws. He stood in the pocket. He made those throws. The receivers made the catch. They get the touch. They get the last second touchdown to beat a bad Penn State team, win in advance. We had the ball. We needed, some clutch throws to get us in field goal range because we was almost there, and we went
Three
backwards.
opportunities. Three opportunities. Like it comes. It's simple as that. There were three opportunities down the stretch. They were not taken care of. They were not taken advantage of, and unfortunately, um, that basically told the tale. So let me ask you this, Haven Heritage. So let's go back and let's look at Cal, because I do want to know, like, in your opinion, everything is coming down on Miller Moss's shoulders. A lot of it, anyway. Like that's
Well,
kind of the guy that is
a
getting a
lot of
lot of it.
it's. I mean, he's taking a lot of heat for the Cal game as he should. He didn't have the best game, but there's a couple of facts. Like I said, this was the defense's worst game. You let DeJesus
Yeah,
have 16 receptions. I mean, you couldn't double the dude. He was the only thing they had on offense. Was just him, and you just let him run ragged all game long. You should have double covered him because and made somebody else catch the ball or do something with it, but you didn't do that. I didn't think you put enough pressure on a freshman quarterback. Now, enough blitz packages to get in his face to speed everything up. You kept trying to rush forward, which I understand because Cal had a makeshift offensive line. They have injuries all over the offensive line. This is the first time these guys have started together on Cal's offensive line. So you think with Clev Lubin and the other guys up front, we should be able to get some pressure with just our front four, but we couldn't get consistent pressure with our front four. So then you had to bring in somebody else, and we didn't blitz as often as I thought we should have, and we didn't double the Jesus either.
yeah,
And he had 16 catches, a bazillion yards, and a couple of scores, including a game-winning touchdown in overtime. So that's one, coaching malfeasance. But even if you discount that, number two, we threw the ball 39 times, ran the ball 30. What sense does that make when you have a running back? You have a running back in Keywan Brown who is averaging 9 yards a carry. He had over 130 yards rushing on 14 carries. Why does he only have 14 carries? That makes no sense. He's averaging 9 yards a carry.
yeah,
Why only 14 carries? He should have had at least 25 to 30 carries that game. 25 to 30 carries that game.
yeah.
That's
No.
just that's coaching malfeasance. Why
So
why
let
give
me
the
ask
ball to
you.
Miller Moss, who was struggling? Why give him 40 chances to throw the ball? And he threw one of his classic interceptions like he always does. Just hand the ball off. All you had to do was hand the ball off. That's it. Hand the ball off, and we win the game. In
Yeah,
overtime, that's what they tried to do. They just tried to give it to Keywan Brown overtime, let him score. But they had a horrible. We got called for a 15-yard blocking below
yeah.
the belt penalty, which was a bad, bogus call. Uh, and once we got sent back 50 yards, I was it. There was no way we was going to throw anybody open.
I mean, honestly, I don't even know if we were actually trying to attempt to throw anybody open. It felt like a
I
lot
feel like they was playing
of.
for the field goal at that point.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
felt like we was just playing for the field goal.
The game felt a lot like um it was a combination of the Stanford game from last year and honestly the Bowling Green game from earlier this year. And we were texting back and forth talking about it, and it was one of those games where Moss just wasn't sharp, so Louisville wasn't finishing drives. But the difference between the Bowling Green game and this game is the fact that, like the Stanford game last year, Louisville's defense was not necessarily just, well, they were at moments getting gashed, but they just could not get off the field. It was one of those situations where a lot of conversions. Sagapolatele made some great passes under duress. Third and longs, third and mediums. I agree with you. They did not send a lot of pressure, but This was a game where the defense just didn't have their fastball. But Haven Harrington, we have been talking about this for weeks. Is that at some
Since
point,
game two.
yeah. Well,
We've
the
been
thing is, at some
since
point,
game two.
well, yeah. Well, the thing was, is like, look, the defense is playing great. So we always ask the question of where would we be without this defense playing the way they are? And the thing is, at some point the defense is going to have a bit of a stinker, and that's what this game was. This was the defense's, quote unquote, bit of a stinker. Wasn't terrible by any means. They didn't give up a bunch of touchdowns. I mean, when you look at the California drives, that they had field goal attempt, punt. They did have the touchdown their third drive, field goal, touchdown, field goal, field goal. I mean, you got three field goals, two touchdowns. It's not optimal, it's not ideal, but at the end of the day, that's 23 points. That's not terrible. And for a Jeff Brom team that's been averaging 24 points per game and facing a California team that's not, they're not great, you
They
should
had a
be.
bad rush defense, and it showed. But we refused. We just refused to take advantage of the fact that a bad rush defense, and we were. It makes no sense that you run for over 200 yards and you still don't give the balls to your running backs.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what it comes down to. Is this was a game where the defense wasn't going to be able to just play perfect. This wasn't a defense. Unfortunately, it wasn't. The Louisville defense wasn't going to hold California to 14, 17 points. Okay, it is what it is. Like, defense still played great in my personal opinion because they kept California out of the end zone all but twice in regulation. And if you give up two touchdowns or less, I would think that with the Jeff Brom led offense, you should be able to score enough points at home. I should add, you should score enough points at home to win. But this is a game where we said there's going to be at least one game, if not two games, where Louisville's going to need Miller Moss to win the game because the defense is just not going to have it. And that's why, the people that got frustrated about the defense and got frustrated that, the defense didn't necessarily play well, it's like, well, yeah, they didn't play great, but they weren't giving up touchdowns. For the most part, they were giving up field goals. They were at least limiting the damage that California was doing. They didn't play perfect, but you're expecting at home against a team like California, you're going to score, 31, 35 points, 38 points,
I
you
mean, you
know?
should have, but this is a team that all year long has never put belt to ass to anybody. And
Yeah,
we've been better than a lot of teams we played, but we refuse to put belt to ass to anybody. We refuse to blow, like even Kentucky found a way to blow Florida out, right?
yeah,
Kentucky whipped Florida's ass at home over the weekend. We can't whip nobody's ass. Every game we're in is nip and tuck because we just refuse to do what it takes to put up points. And when Miller Moss is a quarterback, I mean, at this point, his deficiencies are. He can't throw the ball downfield. He can't throw the ball running. He can't move the pocket. He is what he is, right?
yeah.
With this guy, you have to, everything has to be dink and dunk.
Well,
You have
and
to have a
that's the
dink and
thing.
dunk offense.
This
And Jeff
California
Brom,
team,
yeah,
this California defense was the first team to get a beat on it, and basically just they weren't even trying to rush the passer. All they were doing was basically just trying to do a containment rush, wait for Miller to try to throw it quick, and jumping up and batting it down. I mean, how many batted passes did they have, especially in the second half? They had
I mean,
several.
but that's all you can do with Miller Moss. I mean, that's all you can do. But when you have a running game,
Yeah,
that's killing it, you got a guy averaging 9 yards a carry. Why does he only have 14 carries?
yeah,
He's averaging 9 yards. Let him eat. Feed him. Feed him.
I can feel the
It's not
frustration.
rocket science. This is like it's like with Jack Plummer. You took the ball to Jack Plummer's hands, except for that one game he lost in Pittsburgh, where he thought he was going to throw it for some reason 50 times in the driving rainstorm. The guy who couldn't do it, so he lost that game. But after that, you took the ball to Jack Plummer's hands and you just ran it down everybody's throat for the whole year.
Yeah, yeah.
Why is this
No,
any different?
I mean, and that was the thing that people want to know. Is like, how does Miller Moss end up with 38 passing attempts, but you only end up with a total of what
30.
20 no 22 rushing attempts by your running backs, because it's 30 if you count the eight quote unquote rushes for Miller Moss, which are basically sack yardage or scramble yards where you get back to the line of scrimmage. But if you look at runs by the actual running backs, Louisville only ran the ball 22 times in the game.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, with
When you got a
38
guy
passes.
averaging 9 yards a carry, look, 22 rushes, you got over 200 yards rushing off of 22 rushes. What else why even throw the ball at that point?
Yeah,
Literally, like, why even throw the ball? Just run it down their throats until they can stop you.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean that's that in a nutshell. This was a game where you only target Chris Bell twice in the second half. He's not even getting the opportunity to get the ball, and who knows, maybe a couple of those 7 or 12 batted passes that they had in the second half, maybe those were supposed to go to Chris
I
Bell.
mean,
I have no
but you have
idea.
a but it's like against Miami, you had those packages where you had Deuce Adams come in and run the ball. What happened to that? Like we haven't seen that since the Miami game. Where did that go?
I don't know.
Like, where
I
did
don't know.
that go? But
Yeah,
more importantly, when you run the ball like that, see, this was so maddening about Louisville, right? When you're running the ball like that, why stop running the ball, especially when you know your quarterback is struggling?
because Jeff Brom does not like boring football, Haven Harrington. He does not
That's
like
not boring
boring football.
football. Our biggest plays has been when Isaac Brown. I know he didn't play, but our biggest plays have been in the running game. Our
Yeah,
longest plays are running plays. The longest plays from scrimmage we have all year have been running plays, either by Isaac Brown or Keywan Brown. For the past 2 weeks, Keywan Brown has sealed the wins with 30-yard touchdown rushes in both of those in the last 2 games.
yeah, yeah. I mean, this felt like a game that if Louisville would have just come into the game plan, or at least came out of halftime and just decided, look, man, we're just gonna run it. Even if they, even like you said, if they put in a Deuce Adams and they just went to almost a read option style, we're either gonna run it or we're gonna bootleg with Deuce
You,
and
you
let
know
him,
what? You know
you
what?
know,
You don't even have to put Deuce Adams in. You literally just could have just handed the ball off. I
yeah.
mean, I
I mean,
watched Cal
California
lose,
they have one of the worst rush defenses in all of the Power Five.
and
I
it
mean,
showed. It's like you had 200 yards rushing on 22 carries. Basically, it means you're averaging almost 10 yards a carry. Why are you not running the ball?
yeah. So
That
so
makes
I
no
I
sense.
take so the way from the tone that I'm hearing with you in regards to this, you put more of this on the coaching staff and Jeff Brom as far as the offensive play caller than you are Miller Moss and just being limited and not being able to take advantage of
Yeah,
easy
here's the thing.
opportunities.
We know Miller Mouse is limited.
Yeah,
I mean, it's obvious.
yeah,
But when you're average almost 10 yards a carry,
yeah. The
I
decision
mean,
has been made for you.
yes, we
Yeah,
averaging 10 yards a carry. You just run the ball. It's
yeah,
not hard. Just run it. All you got to do is run it. All day, every day, run it. Run it until they put 15 in the box.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's fair. That's
You don't
fair.
overcomplicate nothing. Just like even when we got that 15-yard personal foul penalty, now I was like, oh, they're going to try and throw it. No, give it to Keywan Brown 3 straight times.
All
Just
right.
run it down their throats until they
I,
just run it. Just keep running it.
I totally agree with that. Now, with all that being said, Louisville gets to the fourth quarter. The defense finally, figures out some things and finally starts getting and forcing some Cal punts. They force Cal to punt the ball 3 times in that fourth quarter. The offense is on the field, and you have 3 opportunities. And
And what do we do? What do we do for those 3 opportunities? You have to get 20 yards. You have to get 15, 20 yards to get in the field goal range. It's fourth quarter, like 2 minutes to go. What do we do? We got timeouts. What
Well,
do
the
we do?
last possession when they punted the ball and punted it to that terrible punt that went to the 50.
Oh, remember
Um,
that 18-yard punt we
that
had?
was
That
like
one?
that was like what 20 some odd seconds left. So with that in that situation, I can definitely understand passing the ball just because you only
Still
had
run the
the
ball.
one timeout, and if you
You
get
still
tackled
you
in
still run
bounds,
the ball. You
if you
still
get
run the
I
ball.
mean, you can't run the ball in that situation because you're going to run out of time. But like I said, I understand that. But in the previous in the 2 drives prior to that, I agree with
Just
you.
run it.
Definitely,
Just
um,
run it.
you would think
Just run it.
running the ball would have been.
Just run it.
But
Just run it.
but look. At the end of the day, Haven Harris, they didn't run the ball, so you can't just keep harping on running the ball. I need to know the analysis of.
Do you trust Miller Moss to win you a game? Yes
I
or no?
mean, me personally, the one of the reasons, and this has been the thing that I've told folks is that, one of the reasons that I haven't been stressed about this team or this season is because I understand what I have at the quarterback position and I understand who my coach is. And I know that Jeff Brom is going to do two things. That Jeff Brom is going to pass the ball, and B, he's more than likely not going to pull his starter. He's shown that through, this is his third season. He's shown that whoever he brings in there and dedicates to be there, he's going to be there. Not so much because Tyler Shuck even made that a question, but because of what happened with Jack Plummer year one. Is that, even with all the limitations that Jack had, Jeff believed in the guy who he felt gave Louisville the best opportunity to win. And as long as they were still in a position to make a ACC championship, which they made the ACC championship in year one, Jeff was like, I'm not going to, I'm not going to rock the boat. So understanding who that was, I expected at some point that there was going to be at least two games that Miller Moss was more than likely going to win. And at the end of the day, Miller Moss was going to end up losing Louisville one of those two games, more than likely. So, it's been one of those things where I wasn't necessarily stressed about it. So I just watch every game and just see, like, let's see if this is going to be the one where it does, and who knows, maybe Louisville, maybe Miller would have lucked out and wouldn't have happened. But I expected at some point, I just didn't know when it was going to happen. And unfortunately, it happened against California where, Jeff wanted to lean on Miller, and Miller at the end of the day, Haven, I don't know if you've noticed this, but in my personal opinion, Miller's playing worse now than he was earlier in the year. He seems more unsure, afraid. He seems to even be going through less of his progressions than he was in earlier in the season. And I remember specifically asking him, even in the JMU game, where he was making some calls and some audibles at the line and doing some things like that, and he looked to be trying to take command of the offense. We haven't seen any of that at all. And I didn't see any of that against California. Like, is it just me, or is he playing worse now than he was earlier in the year?
You know what? I don't think he's playing worse. Well, he is, but I think the reason he's playing worse is because teams figure out how to defense him.
Yeah, they've scouted him. Yeah,
they scout him. They're like, hey, there's two ways to fuck. Excuse me. There's two ways to mess up Miller Moss, right?
It's okay. We're online. We're doing a podcast, so we're good.
I know we're after dark. We're after dark. So there's two ways to mess up Miller Moss. One, you put somebody in his face, and he'll fold like a cheap suit. You make him move off his spot, he'll mess up. Two, if you take away that first read, that first quick throw, and make him hold the ball, he's toast. And that's all you guys. That's all you got to do.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't have to sack him. But if you just really take that first read away and make him hold the ball longer than 3 seconds, you've won.
Yeah, and on top of the fact that Louisville's offensive line, they don't hold up for more than about 3 seconds anyway. At that point, somebody's going to get through, and Miller Moss is either going to be running for his life or he's going to be on the ground.
Okay, first of all, have you seen Miller Moss run? He doesn't run for his life. I watched Miller Moss try to run several times.
I could not believe he just crumpled down and took that sack with 20-something seconds left in the game. The one thing you could not do was take a sack.
He's a fifth-year senior. Didn't even try to throw the ball away.
He just crumpled down and just
didn't even try to throw the ball away. Barely even tried to run. That one run he had for he could have ran for easy first down. If he just put his head down and just dive across the first down marker on second down. He runs towards the sideline, but then doesn't run out of bounds. He just kind of curls up and turns his back to the defense and gets blasted. I'm like, dude, if you're going to run scared like that, just run out of bounds. And the whole time he's running, he's running like he's going to throw the ball, but you know he's not going to throw the ball. He's running parallel to the
he had he needed 7 yards to get the first down, I believe. And he was running, and it looked like he could have ran up the field about 20 yards. And
he could have ran straight for like 15, 20 yards.
He saw the safety
parallel. He runs parallel to line the game, and then just crumples down
and ended up not even getting the first down. Like
No,
that's wild. Like
um,
I don't know what's going on with him. Like I don't know what's happening with
I mean,
Moss
it's
right
like defensive figured out. Take away Chris Bell, his first option. Blanket, that first quick pass, take that away, make him go to second read, make him hold the ball long in 3 seconds,
I mean, I
and
agree with
he's
that, but Haven, like on in that specific scenario, you know you're running. You see a running lane. Like at the end of the day, you're still a football player, right? Like,
is he? I mean, he is, but he's done that several times this season.
yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah,
mean, that's why I say, you know what, just get the ball to Kevon Brown, just
yeah,
give it to him. Just, I mean, and especially in that Cal game with that horrible defensive line they had, with that horrible run defense, at least, dude, give him the ball and eat. All you had to
yeah,
do. You give
yeah.
Kevon Brown 25 carries that game, we win easy.
Well, with that being said, let's go ahead. Let's give out our illustrious That Boy's Good player of the game so we can move forward and talk about what's next. But in this game, I think anybody could have figured out who was going to be the man. I think a blind man could have picked this one. Congratulations, Keywan Brown,
Look
career
at that.
high 136 yards on 14 carries. He was absolutely dominant. He looked
That is
fast.
crazy.
Um,
136 yards and only got 14
14
carries.
carries, 9.7 yards per carry. He was electric. I mean, he wasn't Isaac Brown, but he put up Isaac Brown
Dude,
numbers.
that's a first down every time he touches the ball.
Yes, literally.
Why not just give him the ball every rip?
So Kiwan is the is the what he's the sixth, I believe, the sixth player, individual player, to win the award this year. So congratulations to him. Super awesome accomplishment. I will not like this young man coming back to Louisville. I mean, Haven,
Was
how big
huge.
has it been that he
Was
came back
huge.
this year?
I mean, I said it before. I mean, I know a lot of people, I think Duke Watson's our second best running back, but I've always said Keywan Brown's the second best running back. It's Isaac Brown, Keywan Brown, and then Duke Watson, because Duke is fast, but Duke can't create his own lanes.
You know
Isaac
when
can't. Yeah, Isaac can't
when
create his own lanes. He
yeah.
has that. He has unreal vision, and he has that ungodly burst of speed. Keywan is nowhere near as fast as Isaac or Duke, but he has great vision. He's a bigger
He's
guy.
Kobe Smith. Like I remember when
Yeah,
Louisville had Lionel Gates, they had Michael Bush, and they had Kobe Smith. And Lionel Gates was the veteran, Michael Bush was the young superstar, but Kobe Smith was a guy who came in even as a true freshman, got plenty of snaps and played a lot, played some in fullback just to have him out there because Bobby Petrino believed in him and his ability. And Kobe just continued to churn and ended up turning himself into an NFL running back. And Keywan Brown gives me a lot of Kobe Smith vibes. Do you see that comparison at all?
yeah. Keywan. He also reminds me of Dominique Brown when he was here under
Okay. Yeah.
Strong's first year. Big guy, fast, able to make a hole sometimes when there isn't a hole. Powerful runner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he is.
Absolutely.
But you know what? We have to look ahead now to Friday night's game against Clemson. And be honest with you, Louisville football analysis is easy because it's the same every game.
Yeah.
It's at this point it's the same every game. Clemson isn't any good, but that doesn't mean anything. Uh,
I mean, they whooped up pretty good on Florida State last week, so they're at least feeling better.
yeah,
I
they're
mean,
feeling better. They beat the hell out of Florida State. Uh, so like with this game in Louisville, it's like if Louisville packs their defense, the defense comes to play. Uh, Louisville has a chance. I mean, honestly, Louisville can beat any team left on their schedule, whether it's Clemson, SMU, or Kentucky. They can beat all three of them, or they can easily lose all three of them.
can Louisville control the line of scrimmage against Clemson's defensive front? I mean, Clemson's been tough. They've been killed a lot of places, but their defensive line, they still got those draft picks. They got 3 or 4 guys that are projected as first rounders.
I mean, once again, it comes to can you get the ball out of Miller Moss's hands? If he can hold it less than 3 seconds, and we can run the ball, our offense will be okay. But we know it's going to happen. We know it's going to be a stretch of the game where Miller Moss act like a true freshman, like he's never played before. We know he's going to throw an interception because he's thrown one in every game. It's just a matter of when he throws an interception and how much damage interception does once it's thrown.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we know we're good for one turnover.
Do you expect
Uh,
to see? Do you expect Jeff Brom's going to stick with Miller Moss, or do you think that we could see a substitution if Miller Moss has any issues today
he's
or
he's he's
tomorrow?
he's gonna stick with Miller Moss.
Okay.
I honestly think um, if Louisville's gonna win this game, is that we're gonna either have to either A, win the turnover battle, or B, tie the turnover battle. So we already know we're gonna turn the ball over at least once. That's a given.
The
So we're
interception.
gonna have to. So
That's
we're gonna have to turn Clemson over at least once. And to me that's the key of the game. We got to turn the ball over at least once. California did not turn the ball over. We turned
yeah,
it over. They didn't turn it over. That our turnover led to points.
yeah.
Uh, the ergo the game. So I think it all comes down to turnovers. Like if we win the turnover battle, I think Brom's like 16-0 or something crazy like that when he wins the turnover battle. He still has a winning record when we lose the turnover battle, but not by much. So we're going to have to either keep the turnover battle the same, 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, or win the turnover battle, and that's the only way we're going to beat Clemson.
It's interesting. I mean, I'm right there with you. This is a game that, especially with the fact that Clemson's playing better and Clemson comes in with a ton of talent, and they still, for as much as I like to talk about Cade Klubnik, he's better than Miller Moss. I mean, that's without a doubt. I think that Louisville has the better skill position players. I think that Clemson is cocky enough to where they'll actually punt to Colin Lacey, where California was so afraid of them, they were making 25 and 30-yard punts just to try to keep it away from Colin. Um, but I do think that Colin Lacey is going to have some opportunities in the special teams game. But Clemson is still a super talented team. Uh, and you're going to have to make plays if you're going to find a way to win. So I mean, how are you feeling about this one?
I mean, Louisville scored more than 24 points. If I had to give a score prediction, it would be something like 25-23 Louisville. If we win, it's going to be close. We're not going to blow anybody. We're not going to blow them out. It is going to be close if we win. Um, Jeff, I think Jeff would view this as a big team.
Yeah, that was going to be my
So,
other question. Is like with Clemson coming in with a losing record, do you think that this is still seen as a big game for Jeff? Like, is he going to pull out all the stops? Are we going to see him go out there, or is this a team where maybe I don't want to necessarily say Louisville's taking them lightly because they just lost the game, so of course they understand the importance. But like, how big is this game in Louisville's mind?
I think comes big because I think the team was embarrassed by losing the Cal,
Yeah,
and Clemson has a name. So
yeah.
Jeff will bring it because Clemson has a name. So I expect us to win. Like I said, it won't be a blowout. It'll be something like 25-23, 24-21, something of that nature. And we'll wind up pulling it out. But it's going to be a close game. We will turn the ball over. Can we turn Clemson over? And can Kiwan run for 120 yards or more? That's what it'll come down to.
All right, so give me your official. I need an official prediction, and I need a player of the game. I need to know.
Well, you already got my score. So
Yeah.
player of the game is
So hold on, you going with the 25-23 or the 24-21
24-21.
deal? Louisville.
And for player of the game, you know what? I think Clemson's gonna do something stupid like kick it to Colin Lacey a couple of times, and it's gonna cost him. It won't. It may not cost us a touchdown, but he'll take one pretty deep,
Put him in field position.
put him in field position.
You know what? I like that. That's exactly. It is so funny how much we are always on the same. Because I
And we
was
didn't even
gonna
talk
say,
about this game. We didn't even talk about this game either.
I know, but like literally, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing two teams that are, trying to figure it out. I see both teams making mistakes. It does scare me a little bit that California, I mean, excuse me, that Florida State's playing better, but I do think that that Clemson, Clemson's playing better after beating Florida State, but it feels like Clemson is still one of those big teams that does like a lot of big team dumb stuff and thinks that their athletes can just out athlete you. And that doesn't necessarily work against the Jeff Brom team. And I think that Jeff will have the team ready for that. I think he will have a couple of plays that'll take advantage of over aggressiveness by Clemson. I think that you can't ignore what happened and how Jeff was able to just basically abuse Clemson last year. And I think that there will be some called scripted plays that Louisville will be able to score off of, and Miller Moss won't be able to mess it up because it'll be part of the script. But I agree with you. I think the biggest factor in this game is I can definitely see Colin Lacey um, being a guy that flips this game, being a guy that makes a play or two that really changes the complexion of it. So I do think that Louisville's going to get the win. I would say something like 28-24, somewhere in that range. I think that they'll keep their beloved streak going, and I'm going to hold my nose and pick that. And I don't know if I'm picking that just because I'm hoping that I don't have to go through leaving Cardinal Stadium one more time in the most depressing manner possible, like I did last week. When I was leaving that California game, it was the most depressing. The California Virginia games, leaving those two overtime games, was the worst experience ever, and I really don't want to do that again. So I'm gonna say Louisville gets it done 28-24. Player of the game, and for the third time this year, will be the That Boy's Good player of the game, and that's going to be Colin Lacey. That's the way
Hey,
I.
there we go. Hey,
There we go.
before we get out of here, though, I want everybody to like and subscribe, share this with your friends, share this around the world. We need
Yes.
2,000 followers, and we need you to make that happen.
Absolutely. Share, like, follow, subscribe. Thank you for everybody who participates. Thanks to everybody who listens to the Wake Up 502 show every Saturday morning, 9 to 11 a.m. on 96.1 FM. We will have a special guest in studio coming this Saturday, so make sure you tune in for that. We will be doing a full autopsy of the Clemson game and what's going down with that. We will also get into that big win that U of L had over UK on Tuesday. We will get into that Saturday morning as well. So thanks so much to Haven Harrington. Join me. Roman Kelly is out celebrating a birthday. So happy birthday, Roman Kelly. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to catch up with me because I ain't getting no older. So
Yeah, there
this,
you go.
this is Raashaan Myers for Haven Harrington. Like we always like to end every show, without any struggle.
Hey, there's no progress, baby.
Hey, peace, y'all. Thanks so much.